Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to get started on the SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Glare. Probably one of my most favorite mid-bosses that we've gotten in a while from Kamen Rider Geeks. So yeah, we're back on the Kamen Rider train. I do have a ton of other riders and stuff to review. As you know, I did the SHF upgrade video, but I've been swamped in a bunch of stuff, so I've been trying to save some stuff for later and you know, enjoy it while I can. So let's jump into Glare. Glare is probably one of the more unique body types that we will get out of the Geats line, and honestly no one knew what we were going to get when they were announcing these, because this was P Bandai and it did get a P Bandai US release, but it's crazy because nobody nobody knew what we were going to get out of this line. But I thoroughly enjoyed Geats and I thoroughly enjoy these figures. This guy does not follow the original gimmick, as he follows his own gimmick, which is these nodes here on the knees, the shoulders, and the chest, which allows you to create wall of orbs and stuff and like to imagine, as well as take over other players in the game. So let's start by saying articulation wise, always collars hinder articulation. So I'm going to try and do an SHF upgrade neck peg after the video. I didn't get a chance to apply it yet, but as you can see, we can look up. We cannot look down due to our collar. We can shift left and right, but we do have our collar in the way. So certain poses will look a little stiff until we can arrange and change that. As far as the shoulders go, we have a rotating shoulder, right? Can we do the pull-out method? There is a bit of a pull-out there. Now, as far as these coming off or coming down, as you can see, they can rotate down. We can rotate around with our articulation. We have our floating joint. And it seems like it doesn't hinder. As I lift the arms up, the shoulder pads come around. We have our bicep swivel. And we have a beautiful double joint. Make sure when you fold in, you fold from the top, then fold in. So that way you can get the maximum articulation, unless you want to fold like this, and you'll get it that way. So there's two different types. As far as our waist area goes, we can rotate around the town, but you'll have the least amount of articulation going in the front because our ab plate will get in the way. But in reverse, you'll get a nice bit of reverse articulation. Be careful how you go about that, because too much pushing forward will cause scraping in the abdomen area, but it does tuck in very nicely. We do have drop down hips, and they clear the tolerance for the leg armor. We have a beautiful double joint there, and these are easily removable, so just be aware of that. If you feel like you are going to hurt yourself or break your tabs in on these, I recommend during the video you just take it off, or when you're playing with them, take it off. It does leave a little bit of a gap, but I think they are still pretty good for what they are, right? As far as our ankle pivot goes, I think there's much to be desired there. It's probably the weakest point of Glare. It's going to be his ankle pivot. It sucks because the Geat stuff actually had some really good ankle pivot going into this. But as a mid-boss, what I like the most about Glare is that he is like, well, depending on which version, right, of who is using the belt, you can actually get like a jokey character that's overpowered using like gimmicks and stuff like that, or you can get like a terrifying actual mid-boss. Articulation wise, I think he stacks up pretty okay. It's not the best articulation, but it does stack up pretty well. Like as you can see here, we are still getting really good articulation, right? As far as rider kicks, I do believe this should not be an issue. Oh, see, there it is. And I had a feeling that was gonna happen because I tried to lift up via the knee. But articulation wise, yeah, I think he stacks up pretty easily and pretty well. I do like the bulkiness of it though. It feels a little bit more hefty than other riders. I think my only issue is going to be the loss of our front abdomen, getting a little bit more articulation there, and our ankle pivot being really weak. Those are probably my two P's. But yeah, otherwise I think this is solid. I do believe Glare came with no weapons, but again, he's one of the game masters, so he can probably use every weapon from before, right? Now, what we are gonna do is we're gonna jump into accessories. So let's get to talking about it. All right, let's jump into our accessories. We don't get a lot, but I think we get something that's vital to its character, like standing wise. Now, like I said before, we're going to take these out so we can show slightly different forms. And then we actually can remove our chest piece, which I always have trouble with, to be honest, because I don't really have nails like that. But this actually came off pretty easy for me. And I actually like this more slimmed down version of the character as I pop these off. None of these came off with any sort of real issue, right? As you can see, we now have our shoulders looking pretty bare, our knees looking pretty empty, and our chest looking pretty normal, right? It's almost like a different form, right? Which I guess we'll call it active mode. Now, in our active mode, when you're not using the shoulders, you can actually apply these new sets of shoulder pads, proving that your nodes are in action, doing their thing. Like I said, sort of like a more streamlined version of the said suit and armor. And it does look more slim and more cool. It definitely gives you a more black and red vibe versus a red vibe. And I like it. Like I said, you can get a different look out of it. We will also get his administer card, which I need tweezers because this thing is very tiny. And I almost dropped it in between my hands right now. So yeah, here is his card used to transform as well as administer. All right. Oh, it's gonna be hard to focus. There it is. It's crazy how tiny that is. Look at that. This is crazy. And it's supposed to be swiped in front of the card. And you can also use it to be held on the side, as there are holsters. And that's how you do your finishing moves. But I'm not going to try to slide it in right now because I will drop it and lose it. I know me and my luck, so I'm not going to take any chance with that. Right? Next up, I'm so sorry because I know my luck with that. Next up, you will get a set of open action hands. These look really solid and nice. Like I said, I really like the heft of this character. And the fingernails being like almost dagger and tipped like are really cool. You'll also get another set of open hands. These look like your semi-cool pose hands. You'll also get a trigger hand, which like I said, this is pretty cool because as a game master, you also have it minister to other weapons in the game that are relative to geats. And then we have our card holding hand, which I'm actually going to bring back our card holding hand so we can actually show it in there between the thumb and the index. And as you can see here, it looks really cool when you hold it. Like access denied. Now, one last cool thing that I really like that this figure comes with, and I feel like this is very pivotal to the character, that I have to bring out another figure, is that when he mind controls other players or take over, there is a node head that is apart, and you can use whoever he took over, and you can plug the bottom part in so you know who it is. And it's normally used for Punk Jack in the series. But let's say you're not doing it on Punk Jack and you're doing it for another character, you should be able to just plug parts in. Mine's just giving me trouble right now. There it is. I don't know what I was. Oh, you could take it off too. Oh, so you could take it off as well. See, I didn't even know that. So you could take this off as well, but when you're plugging the node in, you can have a plain trapped character looking really cool and menacing as your little backup lackey. Now I need another glare. Crap, this is really nice. This is really, really cool. And that's also probably why they released the GP set, so you get another bonus one of these, as well as the Gem Rider. So yeah, this looks actually really cool. So yeah, lots of nice, cool nodes to the actual series that look really dope. With all of that being said though, let's break out some Geats characters. Let's break out some other toy lines and we'll get into the size comparison. All right. Now with our size comparisons, let's get Glare up to some fellow Geats characters. I just chose two, made it pretty simple. First, let's do up against Keats in Boost Magnum form. As you can see how he sizes out. There are no modifications, no neck pegs, add-ins. Here we are with Kamen Rider Nago, and I chose her because she uses the female body, so you can see kind of where she stands out. She is a tad bit smaller. So yeah, as you can see here, different sizes, different characters. He's somewhere in between, bigger than him, but his antenna evens him out. But as you can see, shoulder-wise, he's a little bit lower, just a tad smidget. Now, when you compare to some other stuff, we have some things. So I wanted to use King Oja. So here we have Kuwagata Oga, right? And the newer SHF stuff has all been a little bit bigger, which I really, really like that. Because when you compare to an older Kuga figure, which came out like 2015 or 2016, if I remember correctly, Kuga is a bit smaller than both of those guys. as you can see here. So I like that we're getting like a slightly different height thing going on. Here we are with a Lightning Collection Remastered Green Ranger, in case you want to do some Sentai stuff. And as you can see here, mine's is going through the leg issues that everyone else faces. Right? Lightning Collection sizes out pretty okay with them. They're a tad bit bigger. Body types are different too, but size-wise, they do even out with the new Reiwa level stuff. If you want to do Marvel Legends, here we are with a Daredevil from the 3-pack with a King Daredevil head who led the fist, right? Let's remove Kuwagata Oga. Totally forgot it was there. Here we are with Python Patrol G.I. Joe Classified, right? Then we can do a Valiverse 6-inch figure as well. So if you want military figures to go up against your Kamen Riders, it's not impossible, right? Next up, the last two, we will do a Mezco. So here's Mezco Ichigo, my main man 50 grand. Always here by my side, like nationwide. Here we are. Ooh, stand up, buddy. I know you can't see, but still. And last, we have a Cosmic Legion, Nova Wind Lean. So if you want the big, rowdy type, like Cosmic or Mythic Legions, this is about where they'll stand. Here's a Mezco. So riders are definitely smaller, but if you want like a Kaijin man, you can't go wrong with that. So you definitely have options. In the meantime, though, it's been one of those things where I like glare in this form as well. Like that black silhouette that slims it down does look really cool. And even if you didn't want to take that off and let's say you wanted to add some more flare back to it, you can add the chest piece back, right? And then boom, still without the other nodes, it has a nice flare to it. And I really, really like that. So this I mean, like I said, it's total bias when it comes to Kamen Rider. I love these things. There's no question about it. But if this piques your interest and you want to step into Kamen Rider, then now is the time. You know, unfortunately, this was a P Bandai release, so it's one of those, it gets expensive, and then years later down the line, it couldn't drop down. So it's really up to you. So, you know, pick and choose wisely. Do some research, watch some shows, enjoy. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for always enjoying. And if you don't like Kamen Rider, that's okay. That's fine. I mean, drink more water still. But for real, as always, please be good, do good, drink your water, guys. Later.